When a well-packaged web of lies has been sold gradually to the masses over generations, the truth will seem utterly preposterous and its speaker a raving lunatic. Let's talk about that. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, the place where I talk about things that I find interesting while hoping you'd feel the same. Today we're taking a look at my personal finances and why I keep zero balance on my bank account. We're gonna take a look of my expenditure cycle from payday to payday, how I do my savings, and how I have managed to turn my credit cards profitable. Let's get into it. Financial advice is like catnip for humans, which reminds me, I'm not a financial advisor, so you shouldn't take my word for what you do with your life. Rather, take it as that I'm pretty good at optimizing things and I have managed something that works really well for me, so it might be something to learn from. The main reason for me to keep zero in my bank account is that I do not want to give unsecured loans to the bank. When you deposit cash into your bank, you're actually giving the bank a loan, and the bank now legally owns what you just deposited. If your bank actually goes belly up, you're gonna be one of the million other creditors. If there's gonna be a bank run, there's not gonna be enough cash in the system and it will cause bank failures. If the general public gets spooked about anything and just run and withdraw their accounts empty, there's not enough cash in the system for everybody to get what they're owed. And here is why. We are living in the largest scam of the universe, which is called the Fractional reserve banking system. When you walk into a bank and deposit 100 in there, you don't actually own the money anymore. What you're legally doing is you're giving the bank an unsecured loan, which you don't have any collateral towards. So bank owns that money and your account says how much the bank owes you. Bank can take your 100 that you deposit there, keep a 10 of it in the vault, and then loan the 90 to the next guy asking for a loan. Meaning when you walk into the bank and want to withdraw your cash from there, because of fractional reserve banking, the bank doesn't have that currency anymore. It's no longer there. Only a fraction of your currency is actually stored in the bank. But what happens when the guy who just borrowed the 90 goes and deposits the money again on their account? Well, the same thing happens. 10% of that is gonna be saved and rest is gonna be loaned out. So there's like a multiplication of money in the system. Sorry, currency. What I find totally nuts about this is that they just removed the fractional reserve requirements from the commercial banks in the United States, meaning they don't have to have anything in the reserves anymore in order to loan stuff out. What? They can now loan out all of your savings. This is why banks need bailouts and bail-ins when people panic and go withdraw their currency from the bank.
But how about the deposit insurance by the government?
No, it won't help you. If you have to use the deposit insurance by the governments, there's also going to be a few million other people using it. There isn't duplicate amount of cash in reserves anywhere, meaning they're just gonna print it. So yes, you will get your euros or dollars or whatnot at some point, but will it have any value because of the 50 or 100 or 2000% inflation at that point? So the deposit insurance up to 100,000 euros per account is like just for feel goods. It's not gonna protect your assets. If everybody wants their currency out of there, there's only gonna be enough for like 1%. And that will cause mass panic. Just think of the gold price and silver price during that kind of shenanigan. I keep referring to the money here as currency because it's not money. By definition, money has to be a store of value, but euros and dollars are fiat money. It's just a thing that governments create out of thin air, and the governments are really the reason why there's demand for it. you can't pay your taxes in gold or silver or Bitcoin, at least yet. Somewhere actually I think you can pay your taxes nowadays in Bitcoin. But that's beside the point. Governments create demand for the fiat currency by taxation. Issue with this is that the governments can just print more of it. For example, European Central Bank has printed a large amount of currency during the corona pandemic, and I think it was something like 20% of the dollars that are in circulation did not exist before 2020. So the value of euros and dollars and other fiat currencies is going down by design over time. So that's why I do not save any euros or dollars. Well, guess who's benefiting from all of this system? It's the banks. They will still be getting their interest payments from the people and companies they lend your money to. Also, the governments, who can print money and be the first to spend that into circulation before it has had the effect on the economy. My savings account is in gold. How that works is that I took a loan from the bank with rather small interest rate and bought physical gold with it. And every month I will have the loan payment. So I'm basically buying gold in small increments with the gold price from the time when I took the loan. So I'll be accumulating gold over time instead of euros. That's my savings account, and the idea behind that is that even though the price of gold, which is measured in euros here, goes up and down, the purchasing power of gold stays roughly the same, meaning if you can get 1,000 boxes of milk for 1 ounce of gold right now, even if the exchange rate between gold and euro changes in a decade, I can still buy roughly the same amount of milk in the future. So it will hold its value, and gold is real money, even though it's rather inconvenient. A key thing about this kind of arrangement is that if I, for example, get unemployed, I always have the gold to cover the debt I have. So in that kind of situation, I can just sell the gold, pay off the debt, and I still have some gold left or some cash. So it's actually rather safe bet. Only thing you're risking is the interest rate on the loan and the exchange rate of gold to the currency. If I need to withdraw from my savings account, I can always take the physical gold I have and sell it for the currency I need to buy something. Or just exchange it directly. It doesn't pay you interest, neither does the bank. It protects you against inflation, which there's gonna be plenty. And there's just something of having actual tangible assets. Gold has had monetary demand for last 5,000 years, so I'm not really worried about things like the value going to zero, which is a real possibility on a savings account nominated in fiat currencies. This is the reason of me trying to get rid of my euros as fast as I get them. And here is one profitable way of getting rid of your cash with a small plastic rectangle. The idea of this is that you basically buy everything with a credit card, and at the end of the month you pay the credit card off in full. The point of doing that is during that month you don't have any expenditures that would go from your regular bank account, but you spend it with the credit card, so the currency stays in your bank. Here the credit card is just a different payment method instead of your cash or debit card. The difference is that you have all the perks of using a credit card. You might have some credit card points, you can get some like free insurance benefits out of it, you can get flight miles, stuff like that. But the key is to pay your credit card off every single month fully and not to carry a balance. Because if you do, that will cost you. It's not much, not necessarily, but it will still take the profit out of your credit card. In Finland, most of the credit cards are bad for collecting points and profiting out of. We have few, like the American Express, where you can get the membership reward points, where you can spend those to lower your bill. Or you have Bank Norwegian credit card, which gives you like flight miles on an airline that currently isn't doing that well. So my monthly routine is that on my payday, I withdraw all my monthly expenditure in cash and stash it at home. Then I pay everything with a American Express card. I don't actually use the gold card. I haven't managed to make this one profitable. I actually use the green one, which isn't as fancy, but this is actually profitable for me. I pay everything with this, while my bank account is at 0. Then, when the next paycheck comes, I use that to pay down the credit card. So I don't touch the cash I have at hand. So basically, I have 1 month's expenditure in cash, 1 month's expenditure on the credit card, and the larger bill and mortgage paid from my account. One noteworthy thing here is that American Express is not actually a credit card, it's a charge card. It means that it has to be paid down fully every single month, so you cannot roll over a balance like you can do on a credit card. In Finland, here the green American Express card costs, I think it was €6 a month to have, but it accumulates you 0.5% of your purchases in membership rewards points value. So for every euro you spend, you get 1 membership reward point, which is worth 0.5 cent. Meaning you have to spend 1,200 euros per month on this card to make it profitable. If you spend more than that, you can pay the credit card fee with the membership reward points, and rest is profit. If you spend way more than that or travel a lot, which during Corona times is not flight lounges are not a thing really, then the American Express Gold card is another option in Finland. I remember counting the monthly fee on this one is 17 euros, which needs about 3,400 euros of monthly spending through the card to make this one profitable. But with this you get access to flight lounges and stuff like that. So if those are something you use, the break-even point comes sooner. But I travel so not often that I didn't make Gold card profitable. So I've been quite happy with my green Amex card. And here I'm talking of paying off the credit card with the credit card points. That's pretty much the only reasonable way to use the Amex cards in Finland. But in the United States, for example, there is much more profitable ways to spend the membership rewards points, like transferring them to hotel room upgrades or straight into flight miles or things like that, which have much more higher conversion rates from the points to the dollar than the 0.5% of paying down the actual bill with them. By spending everything through the Amex card, I get about 100 euros a year or about there of profit, which is way more than the bank pays me in interest. It doesn't really make any sense for me to keep the currency in the bank. Another reason for the 0 bank account value is a thing called bank bail-ins. Everybody has probably heard what bank bailouts are, which is when the bank kind of runs out of money, if there's like a run on the bank or something, and then they kind of go to the government like, we're broke, give us money, and then the government pays the bank basically to forgive their debts, I think. But bank bail-ins are another option where basically bank takes your money and exchange for ownership of the institution. And why would you like to own a deadbeat bank? I don't. I guess that was a long-winded way of saying that stay out of fiat currencies, don't eat yellow snow, keep your bank account empty, be responsible with your money, learn about finance. It's the most powerful thing you can do to maintain your purchasing power. The system is stacked against you and it's not an accident. Leave a comment below on what do you think about this kind of financial content and should I do more of this? Did I sound like a total lunatic? I was thinking I could show you how I actually do my budgeting each month. Like how do I actually do the calculations, how much to reserve for what. So I know how to allocate the vault cash I have. So I know what I can spend and what I can't afford to spend on my Amex. I might in the future make a video about investing, for example, in precious metals and cryptocurrencies and whatnot. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up so I know what kind of content you enjoy. If you didn't, you can always click the dislike button twice. Click there to check out my previous video about flight school and what's up with it and how much does it cost.